What's cracking, y'all? You are now watching Boo TV. Appreciate you for stopping in. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, stay notified, and let's get into the topic for today. What's cracking? Back with some more Larry Bird content. Shout out to the Bird gang. Go check out our Larry Bird playlist. More. A lot more Larry Bird and Boston Celtics content right there for your liking, folks. All right. What happened to the 5 players drafted before Larry Bird? Good question. Who are those players and what happened to them? So, just a little brief history lesson. Listen, I learned this after watching all these Larry Bird videos and people helping me out in the comment section, because I posed a question about what was the reason for his draft scenario. Well, Bird was drafted with the 6th overall pick in the 1978 draft, which would have been after his second year at ISU. However, Bird decided that he wanted to return to ISU for one more year, the 78-79 season, and then would go into the NBA in the 79-80 season. All right, so we all know the story. Played his last year at ISU. They went undefeated, making it to the championship round, lost to Michigan State and Magic Johnson. All right, fast forward. Bird now enters the NBA in the 1979-80 season, where the Boston Celtics already had the rights to Bird. Now, cool story that I found out. Red Auerbach publicly said that he would not pay Bird any more money than what any other Celtic was currently getting on the roster, right? Then Bird's agent was like, bruh, nah, we ain't doing that, all right? Bird will not take any sub-market offer, and instead of going to the Celtics, he would just enter the 1979 draft instead. I guess he was able to do that. All right? Because Boston's rights would expire when the draft began. All right? And if Bird did that, we all know Bird would have been a top draft pick, like even higher than 6. So after some negotiations, etc., Bird ended up inking a 5-year, $3.25 million contract with the Boston Celtics. And at the time, he was the highest paid rookie in sports history. All right. With that being said, we all know what happened after that. Bird, got things running. Led the Celtics to a 32-game win improvement over the last season, still the largest improvement in the history of the league, and got them all the way up to the conference finals before being eliminated. And after that whole Larry Bird situation, the draft eligibility rules changed to prevent teams from drafting players before they were actually ready to sign. And to this day, I'm pretty sure that rule still stands, right? So that rule is known as the Bird Collegiate Rule. I don't know if they renamed it something else or restructured it and renamed it something else, but initially, that's how that particular rule became established. You know how these things go sometimes. They restructure things, they name things, they rescind things, they implement new things. I don't know. But that's all I got to say about it. All right, I'm going to shut up. Let's get into this video. By the way, who the hell got drafted before Bird? Crazy. Hey, let's get into it.
Larry Bird.
Fake in the middle. Bird a runner. Yes, double fake. Jumper. It's good.
Bird bumps O'Corin, turns, and hits.
The game. Bird. Yeah! Bird along the baseline. Underneath to Maxwell.
Tiny to Bird, behind the back to Parrish.
Does to Lambier. Stolen by Bird on the cut to DJ. Yeah!
One of the greatest NBA players ever, frequently ranked by ESPN as a top 5 small forward of all time, wasn't even in the top 5 of his own draft class. That's a lower draft number than guys like Greg Oden, Anthony Bennett, and this dude.
Marco Milicic, he was number 1, I believe.
None of the players in Larry's draft had a Hall of Fame career like him, but they had remarkable careers in their own right. One was the first player ever banned by the NBA, and another turned out to be the father of one of the greatest NBA shooters ever. Here's their crazy story. The number 1 pick in the 1978 draft was Michael Sweetbells Thompson, the first ever international number 1 pick. At 6'10", Michael was a solid power forward who played 7 seasons in Portland. His best season came in 1981 when he averaged 20 points, 11 rebounds, and 3 assists. Michael played half a season with the Spurs before being traded to the Lakers in February of 1987. Michael was an important addition to the Showtime Lakers. He played as Kareem's backup and provided valuable minutes as the Lakers core rested. Michael won 2 championships with the Lakers. The first one was in 1987 against Larry Bird and the Celtics. In Game 6 of that series, Michael had 15 points and 9 rebounds. The Lakers won again in 1988, beating the Detroit Pistons in 7 games. Michael continued to play the backup center role until 1991. When he retired, Michael took a job in sports entertainment and has been working as a Lakers radio host since 2001. Incredibly, the Thompson name continues to grow in the NBA. Clay, his second son, is the 4-time NBA champ on the Warriors.
Thompson for 3. Got it. His 3. Go. Thompson. Yes. Struck by Thompson. Ahead. Thompson goes inside and dunks.
Michael was most recently in Maui for the Lakers Showtime reunion, where the team probably celebrated beating Larry in 1987. But credit to Larry, he made sure to get 3 rings of his own. The number 2 pick in the NBA draft was NCAA legend Phil Ford. To this day, Phil is still considered one of the best ACC point guards ever. Phil was key to the UNC Four Corners offense. With no shot clock in the NCAA, UNC would space the floor and let Phil play one-on-one until the defense overcommitted.
Starting to the right.
So weird hearing somebody say NCAA instead of NCAA.
Comes back to the left. Now drives into the middle. Puts up a little running scoop shot that's good. Phil Ford taking it all the way in.
It was genius and terribly frustrating for any college opponent he faced. Phil led UNC past rival NC State for the ACC title his freshman year. Then Ford won the ACC Athlete of the Year award in both his junior and senior years.
Winning the MVP is a great honor, but it doesn't come close to the honor that the team won the Atlantic Coast Conference Championship.
Over his career at UNC, he averaged 18 points, 6 assists, 2 rebounds, and 2 steals. Plus, he won a gold as a starting point guard for the Team USA at the '76 Olympics.
Back in the United States for 4 years.
Phil continued building his legacy in the NBA with the Kansas City Kings. In his rookie season, he once dropped 26 points and 21 assists against the Bucks. He won Rookie of the Year, averaging 15 points, 8 assists, 2 rebounds, and 2 steals. Phil steadily improved his scoring until 1981 when he had a career-high 38 points against the Houston Rockets.
Good play. Phil Ford, what a play!
He liked that 360 layup.
Has the old 360 special.
But just weeks later, Phil was forced to undergo surgery due to a season-ending eye injury. Phil returned in 1982, but was never the same player. He was traded to the Nets and then to the Bucks in the same season, and finished out his career with the Houston Rockets from 83 to 85. In 482 games, Phil averaged 11 points, 6 assists, and 1 rebound. Meanwhile, Larry Bird was busy winning back-to-back league MVPs and NBA championships. Phil retired and returned to UNC as an assistant coach in 1998 and helped the team win the NCAA tournament in 93. Phil remained on the UNC coaching staff until 99. Then, from 2004 to 2010, Phil briefly coached in the NBA with the Pistons, Knicks, and Charlotte Bobcats. Although Phil and Larry both had legendary college careers, Phil Ford's NBA career pales in comparison to the guy drafted 4 picks after him.
Clear side for Larry, working on Wilkins. Fakes him. Got him.
Rick Roby was a 6'11" bruising center from Florida. He could move well, rebound, score, and added toughness to every team he played on. Rick won an NCAA championship his senior year at UK. In the championship game, he dropped 20 points and 11 rebounds.
Well, he made a good pump fake and went all the way across the shot there. Oh, what a foul by Rick!
So Indiana was ecstatic to get him at the 3rd pick. But Rick played just 43 games in Indiana before being traded to the Celtics for small forward and all-star Billy Knight. What a blessing for Rick. Rick played the backup center position for 5 seasons with the Celtics. He was a part of the team that won the 1981 championship against Moses Malone and the Houston Rockets.
It's amazing, and I'm just very happy that I was a part of it.
Rick and Larry were good friends.
They were able to get Bird signed, which Bird was in my draft. The first year we were roommates, and then we decided after the first year we'd get our own separate rooms. Larry and I became very close. He, without a doubt, the greatest player I ever played with.
But Rick was traded to Phoenix in 1983 and missed the prime of Larry's NBA dominance. His role diminished and Rick retired in 1986. He played 493 games and averaged 7 points and 4 rebounds. In the 90s, he became a successful real estate agent in Kentucky and still works in the industry to this day.
This summer when I'm in Kentucky, I'm going to go by the governor's house and show him this world championship ring. And
The fourth pick, Michael Ray Richardson, was supposed to be New York's next Walt Frazier, who, if you're unaware, is one of the 50 greatest players of all time. Like Walt, Michael could create his own shot, pass, rebound, and play lockdown perimeter defense. For a brief period of his career, Michael was in a tier just below Hall of Famer point guards like Isaiah Thomas and Magic Johnson.
Michael Ray was a guy who played just like I played. Every time I saw him, he went right at me.
In his second season with the Knicks, Michael averaged 15 points, 10 assists, 6 rebounds, and 3 steals.
3 seconds to go right now. Richardson, let's fly.
He became the third player in NBA history to lead the league in both assists and steals. He made the All-Star team every year after his rookie season with the Knicks, too. In 1982, he was traded to the Warriors in exchange for Bernard King, but played just 33 games before being traded to the New Jersey Nets. During this time, Michael was dealing with substance abuse and his career started to take a downward turn. In 1984, Michael submitted himself to rehab and played only 48 games with his new team. But then, in 1985, Michael bounced back. That season, he averaged 20 points, 5 rebounds, 8 assists, and 3 steals. He was once again the NBA steals champ and earned his 4th All-Star team selection. Michael even won the NBA Comeback Player of the Year award. However, his career came to an abrupt end. On February 25th, 1986, Richardson was banned by the NBA.
Today is a sad one. Michael Ray Richardson of the New Jersey Nets has been dismissed from the NBA under terms of the anti-drug agreement between the league and its player association.
The moment crushed him. Yet, Michael didn't give up. He played 14 seasons in the EuroLeague where he continued to get buckets and earn a living.
L'arresto e tiro, buona mira anche per la cosa bella che è Sedodina. Richardson.
In 2002, he finally retired from playing and turned to coaching. From 2004 to 2014, he coached 2 minor league basketball teams in the CBA and 1 NBL team in Canada. He led the team to multiple championships within the respective leagues. Although Michael was the first player banned by the NBA, he didn't let that define him.
I was the first player that was banned from the NBA for doing drugs. But I was also the first player that was reinstated. I am now 59 years old. I've been drug-free for 35 years.
Today, Michael lives in Oklahoma and puts on youth clinics with his longtime friend and teammate Otis Birdsong. Purvis Short was the last guy drafted before Larry Bird. Ouch, Golden State, you missed on this one. You'll have to wait another 35 years until you draft an NBA champion. But credit to Purvis, he was still a very solid player in his day.
Played just over a minute here in the fourth quarter.
On the wing, he lets it fly, and you can't stop it.
Maxwell trying to play defense all over. Short does it.
Court come the Warriors, leading by 1. Now leading by 3.
Purvis was 6'7" and possessed an unblockable rainbow jump shot, and he put up some ridiculous numbers with this skill. In 1984 and 85, he scored a career-high 59 points in one game, which at the time was a top 10 scoring performance in NBA history. He also had a 57-point game and a 46-point game. That season, he finished his year averaging 28.0 points per game. Purvis Short had just one season, his second to last, in which he didn't average double digits in points, even when he took on lesser roles and fewer minutes. However, Purvis was never named an All-Star. The truth is, it was difficult to compete with players like Larry Bird, who at the same position scored 60 points against the Hawks just a few months after Purvis.
It's good. Backs in. Posted up Bird. Takes the jumper and hits it. 14 seconds. He got fouled. He hit the shot. They're not going to count it. And Bird falls into Joe O'Toole.
Then in the same season, Larry averaged 28.7 points per game, along with 10 rebounds and 6 assists. Purvis Short wound down his career with the Rockets, then the Nets. While Purvis was an underrated player over his 12 seasons in the NBA, he was still a model pro and highly respected by his coaches and peers. When he retired, Purvis became the vice president of an NBA program which helps players deal with some of the inherent problems of the NBA lifestyle. Today, Purvis is the director at the NBA Players Association, and he continues his work in supporting NBA players on and off the court. Purvis Short deserves his flowers. It's just tough to shine when you were the last guy drafted before Larry Bird.
Before, you fell in love with Klay Thompson's shot, the Steph Curry shot, Chris Mullin's shot. The shot that was known in the Bay Area was Purvis Short.
The crazy thing is that everyone agreed that Larry Bird should have been the #1 pick in 1978. Bird had dominated college basketball, averaging 30 points, 13 rebounds, and 4 assists.
There you go, Larry Bird coming in. You're talking about Allie pushing him back in with a good ball fake. Staley is just staying in place, set play coming off the low double post.
But drafting him was a huge risk. Bird was just a junior at the time, and he made it clear to the NBA teams in '78 that he would not skip his senior season. Plus, signing him would require a massive contract. Knowing this, the Indiana Pacers traded their #1 pick to the Portland Trailblazers and selected a cheaper option in Rick Roby. The Celtics took a chance and picked Bird 6th. Larry was obviously uninterested in the beginning, but Coach Red Auerbach used the year to negotiate with him. Finally, just a few weeks prior to Larry's draft rights expiring, the Celtics pulled off a deal, $3.25 million over 5 years, the largest rookie contract in all of sports. Larry accepted, and for an entire decade, he dominated the league.
Moncrief is trying, and Bird's Bird. I think the frame he wanted, and Bird's trying to add it. Looking for 3. Downs by Lee, great play, stolen back to Nate Archibald, back to Bird.
He wins championships, MVPs, and more first-team All-NBA awards than you can count. Larry redefined trash talk, like the time he told Xavier McDaniel that he was going to hit the game winner in his face.
He said, I'm going to get it right here. I'm going to shoot it right in your face.
Bird has the basketball.
Love that shot.
He came out and right about that exact spot and shot a shot right in my face. And, he was like, I didn't mean to leave 2 seconds on the clock. He wanted to shoot it with 0 seconds on the clock. I walked back to the sideline like, damn.
He's slow, can't jump, and still beats your favorite player.
He got that big smile. My goal was to try to take 3 of them teeth home with me.
He ain't took off his top yet. I didn't see when he took off his top.
Now, you can't really blame these NBA franchises for not drafting Bird. Larry himself didn't believe he would sign with the team that drafted him in 1978. But sometimes you gotta risk it for the biscuit. The Celtics took a chance, and the rest is history.
I forgot to tell Mr. Auerbach, but I would have played for nothing.
If you enjoyed these longer videos, hit the subscribe button and tick the notification bell. I have a ton of awesome content coming out, and I always tailor my videos for the Henry Hoops audience. So if you don't want to miss out, hit the subscribe button.
Purvis Short and Michael Ray Richardson were the truth. Man, very underrated players. And I look at Michael Ray and what his career could have been, considering what he was doing in the league. Like, he wasn't no slouch. He was a damn good player, man, making all-star teams and everything, man. Had a nice stroke, pull-up game, everything. And then they said even when he left, when he got banned, and he went to play overseas, he still played over 10 seasons overseas, dominating, more or less. Impressive stuff. But I'm glad to see that, he got his life together. He's been drug-free for well over 30 years now, and, using his experience and his story to preach to the youth about, DARE, drug abuse resistance education. Y'all remember that? There's a DARE program. I don't have kids, so is the DARE program still a thing? I remember going to DARE in 4th and 5th grade on drug abuse resistance education. But yeah, man, it's crazy when you look back at drafts after realizing what players actually became. And you always look back like, man, how did they mess that up? How did they draft that guy? But there's so many players where, it really takes a keen eye and a good feeling about a player to say, hey, people are sleeping on this guy, and I think this guy there's something special about this kid. Nobody else sees it right now, but we see it. So let's get him on board. Let's help develop him and, see what becomes of it. And, you see, when you look at a lot of the greats, man, there's so many greats that went low in the draft. You know what I mean? It's crazy. And you even got some that were undrafted that got picked up on teams. So it's crazy. It's crazy how things work out for sure. But yeah, crazy to think. But that was the other thing, man. It's crazy to think Bird got picked number 6. But I guess they gave their reasons why people felt it was risky. But Bird's a troll, man. Bird is a troll. I had put a video out on the thumbnail. I put Trolley Bird. It said Larry Bird, Trolley Bird, because he be trolling people. And someone should have told Red I would have played for nothing or next to nothing. Yeah. Okay, Bird. That's not what your agent was saying. Net you $3.25 million, baby. Bird bucks, baby. Bird bucks. And all of it well worth it. Would have behooved Red to move for $10 million. If Larry wanted $10 million, you better put that $10 million on the desk. But this dude brought the Celtics to heights that they hadn't seen in a very, very, very long time. No question about it, man. Y'all let me know what you think about it. Any of these players, if you want to add any context or commentary, please do, because my knowledge is very limited. Some of these players I hadn't even heard of before until I watched this video. So it's always a blessing to learn about something new and learn about circumstances and how things played out for sure. All right, shout out to the Bird Gang. Check out the Larry Bird playlist, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. Be safe, be blessed. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, stay notified. Catch you on the next one. We out, baby.